Students, in the previous videos, we have learned about gametogenesis, fertilization, and thereafter we have also learned about cleavage and the formation of blastocyst. Now, here in this video, we will discuss about implantation. How the process of implantation of the blastocyst take place in the uterus of the pregnant female. As earlier I have told you that after fertilization the zygote undergo cleavage which result in the formation of morula, then blastocyst. While these changes take place, it also keep on moving from fallopian tube towards the uterus. Now I am going to again repeat the structure of blastocyst. It is in the form of ball-like structure having zona pellucida at the outermost, followed by trophoblast layer, and the embryonic pole or embryonic knob lies toward the animal pole. As we know that zona pellucida act as a non-sticky layer. It is basically made up of glycoprotein that avoid the unnecessary or it prevent the attachment of blastocyst to the wrong side. As the blastocyst reach to the uterus, so the first need is that the zona pellucida must undergo process of degradation as shown in the figure. As the zona pellucida get degrade, the blastocyst then get free, and this process is called as hatching. From the figure you can see that the blastocyst is reaching toward the endometrium and the zona pellucida layer getting broken down, thereby hatching process taking place. Now these are the changes which are taking place in the blastocyst. It doesn't mean uterus lying in a rest. Uterus also participate. It lead to the proliferation of the cell of endometrium that's move toward the blastocyst so that it get attached to it as shown in the figure. Now, as the uterus lining, that is the endometrium, rises up, it results in the formation of belly-like structure which is called as crypt. After the formation of crypt, again proliferation keep on, and a result the uterus lining touch the animal pole trophoblast layer, as you can see this from the figure. Now as the blastocyst come in contact with the endometrium lining of the uterus, the process is called as apposition. Though it is attached to the endometrial lining, but it doesn't mean it is strongly attached. Right now it is firmly attached, so can be subjected to remove easily. Therefore, the trophoblast cells which are in direct contact with the uterus, they also undergo process of proliferation. They keep on dividing as well as invading the uterus, which more specifically can be called as invading the endometrium lining of the uterus. This invasion of the trophoblast cell in the endometrium lining of the uterus help to strongly attachment of the blastocyst within the uterus so that it cannot easily get removed. Thus, earlier it was firmly attached, now it is strongly attached, and the process by which it invade in the endometrium lining of the uterus and get strongly attached is called as adhesion. Earlier when it was firmly attached, then it was called as apposition, and when it gets strongly attached, the process is called as adhesion as shown in the figure. Now simultaneously the uterus lining again get proliferated and keep on moving toward the upper side of the blastocyst so that entire blastocyst get engulfed within the endometrium lining of the uterus. As you can see from the figure, the uterus lining, that is the endometrium lining, it rises up, and it rises up to such an extent that it is going to engulf the blastocyst. As shown in the figure, the blastocyst has been engulfed, or you can say that simultaneously blastocyst has also been tried to invade the uterus, and both the effort of the uterus as well as blastocyst result in the burying of the blastocyst within the endometrium lining of the uterus. As you can see from the figure, the blastocyst is now completely buried under the endometrium lining of the uterus. Now, after this process, the next step is the proliferation of the blood vessel in the uterus. As shown in the figure, I have used red marker. Within the uterus lining, there is abrupt or increase in the proliferation of the blood vessel taking place. Here in figure, I have only shown 3, but in reality, its number is more than shown in the figure. Now, why these blood vessels keep on proliferating or increasing its number, and what is the function they are going to play, we will discuss in the next section within this video. Now, the blood vessel try to join with other branched blood vessel so that they increase in their size and resulting in the formation of blood pool. As shown in the figure earlier, the blood vessels were smaller in size. Now, these get joined with the nearby blood vessel and increase their size. With the increase in size, so the flow of blood will also get increased. As shown in the figure, the blood vessels that get enlarged and fuse also, resulting in the formation of pool of blood vessel. The trophoblast layer on the behalf of blastocyst also get multiply and enlarge. So you can say, on the one hand, the blood vessel of the endometrium lining of the uterus, they are proliferating, they are increasing, while on the behalf of blastocyst, the trophoblast layer also get multiply and keep on penetrating. The finger-like structure so formed due to the proliferation or multiplication of the trophoblast layer of the blastocyst is called as villi. Now, as evident from the figure, these trophoblast cells not only multiply but they get fused also. So you cannot see any type of limitation between the two cells. They are fused, which result in the formation of multinucleated condition, and it's called as syncytotrophoblast. Syn means fuse, cyto means cells, and which cell? Trophoblast cell. So the trophoblast cell that were increasing their number, they get fused together, resulting in the formation of single canal-like structure. We call it as villi, and they are represent multinucleated condition. Next step is, within these villi, the blood vessel of the fetus started developing. In the figure, I have shown the blood vessel of the fetal with green marker. Now, this is the close look of the fetal blood vessel. As you can see, the trophoblast layer form villi-like structure or finger-like structure. Within this finger-like structure, the blood vessels are increasing their size. As you can see clearly that though both the blood vessels lie close to each other, however, they still remain separated due to the presence of trophoblast cells plasma membrane, because the fetal blood vessels, they are present within the villi. As you can see clearly in the figure, there is no continuity or though no mixing of the blood taking place between the blastocyst as well as uterine blood vessel. Though both the blood vessels are still not in contact with each other, but they are still managed to exchange food, oxygen by the uterus to the fetus, and waste material as well as carbon dioxide from the fetus to the uterus. And this exchange can be done due to the fact that the membrane, which is highly permeable, can allow the exchange of these two. Thus, the structures so formed between the blastocyst as well as the uterus, where they can easily exchange, that is, food material and oxygen, which is uptake by the developing embryo, and carbon dioxide as well as waste material, which is discharged out by the embryo and taken by the uterus. This structure is called as placenta. So students, I hope you have understand this topic. Now it's your turn. Prepare your own notes. Write down all these process on your notebook. Thank you.